Coach.
John, go ahead.
That play that they were running over and over, LeBron at the high post, the handoff and roll. Did you guys find a solution for that, or did they just stop going to it before?
Well, we got one stop on it, which was big, but that was something they fell into. They just started running options off of it. It's something we will figure out.
Anthony?
Coach, Anthony Gilbert, Slam Magazine. Can you talk about the fourth quarter and your thought process and what you wanted to execute once they started playing a little better and took the lead?
We wanted to get stops, and then we wanted to make sure we got good looks down at the other end, and I think we accomplished that. As John said, they fell into a play that, we had trouble with. We found a way at the end of it on the last possession after a timeout to kind of talk about it, and we got to stop, and they went away from it. So it's something that, they kind of fell into, and when you got LeBron James as your point guard up at the elbow, they executed pretty well, but we finally found a solution for it at the end, but it was almost too late. But again, it was more finding them in transition. They got the three ball going in transition, more in random play as much as anything else in the second half.
Chris on the right side.
Chris Parker, Cleveland Scene. Coach, you guys had 19 free throws in the second half after having 0 at halftime. What did you do to kind of help that, and how important do you think was that to the ultimate result?
Well, again, we kept being aggressive. We just kept on driving to the basket as they were, and creating contact. And that was something we wanted to do is make sure we attack the paint, attack their feet, and our guys accomplished that.
Steve,
Dwane,
back left.
Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun.
Back left, Dwane.
Where is Steve? Oh.
Can you capsulize what this means for your team, for the city, for the history of the Raptors?
Well, again, it's one game, Steve. I know that sounds simplistic, but it's one game in a series, a 7-game series. We're in it. Someone mentioned that we were in it just to win one game, and I disagree with them. And we're in it to compete for a championship. We're here, and again, that's why we went through the season for us, try to go as far as we could. We're a step ahead in the process of our growth process. We're not there yet. Right now we've found something, but again, I still say that we're a young, up-and-coming team that's got to stay hungry, it's got to stay humble, and continue to compete with poise. Because again, nobody thought we was going to be here. Nobody, gives us a snowball chance, and where. To beat Cleveland, but we just got to keep on churning, keep on working, keep on grinding to try to continue to win.
Josh
Lewenberg, TSN. Coach, there was a play in the third quarter. Kyle hits a big shot. You call a timeout. He sort of waved off a couple of celebrating teammates as if to say, relax, stay calm. When you talk about playing with poise, playing with composure, how crucial is Kyle?
That's huge because I thought that the beginning of the fourth quarter, that group that went there, we lost our composure. That group lost their composure. And when we put the starters back in, they kind of regained their foothold and got back under control. I thought that was huge for us. And, again, I've always said compete with poise. Stay consistent with your emotions. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And I think that's paying dividends for us now as we go through this tough series with a great Cleveland team, with one of the best players on the planet. And we got to continue to have that composure and compete every possession with poise.
Joseph?
Dwane, Cleveland hit 3 of their first 23 threes, I believe, then hit 8 of their next 9. During that stretch, was there anything defensively you saw that you didn't like, or how much of that was just evening out?
Again, I thought we were all over Shannon Fry. I thought we were as close as you could get without fouling him, close enough to touch. And they made some tough shots. J.R. Smith came in and made some tough shots. And they're tough shot makers, so I don't know what else we can do except get in the uniform with them and try to stop them that way. But they made some tough shots. That's what they do. Kyrie Irving is a tough shot maker, and then you got one of the best passers in the world in LeBron James. So they cause a lot of problems for you defensively. I think we held them in check in the first half, and they end up shooting 47% for the game. So we got to figure some things out to make sure we give ourselves a little bit more of a chance to get to the three-point shooters and even closer as we can possibly get on our closeouts and read some situations where we don't commit it as much on the rolls, and pick our poison.
Steve?
Dwane, that play with 42 seconds left, did that unfold pretty much the way you envisioned it?
With Kyle Lowry?
Yeah,
it
JR
was.
switched
That's
over
exactly
into him?
what we wanted. But again, we were fortunate enough to get the switch we wanted, and Kyle executed it.
Is it that over the course of the last 2+ minutes, Kyle Lowry was able to, defend or at least be, guarding LeBron and not have that become a problem?
Well, it is a problem. He had a couple of switches that we didn't want, that they created, and we created some switches they, I'm sure, didn't want and got. So that happens in a game, Steve. Mistakes happen. I think it was 2 possessions in a row, maybe 3. We was trying out, but they set such good screens that it gets a 9-1-1 situation where you have to. But again, there are situations where you almost put into us where you have to screen, and I think that's what they did to us, and vice versa at the other end. We were able to do that with them.
Rachel?
Rachel Brady, Globe and Mail. Dwane, how close were you to putting JV into the game, or did it just not present itself today?
I tell you what, I almost did, Rachel, right before halftime, right before Biz got their 3rd foul. That's when I thought about it, but it was such a short time, and it was a defensive possession, and he's been sitting there the whole first half. So again, we got the next couple of days. Tomorrow he'll get a good workout. Wednesday morning he'll get a good workout, and hopefully get that ankle good and strong, and give him another couple of days to go. But it was close. But I thought that just the game was so intense to him go in there and not loose and tough. Coming back from turned ankle, it was been tough for him to get in the flow of the game in crucial situations. So we hopefully can ramp him back up and get him going for Wednesday.
Ryan?
Hey, Coach. DeMar had a big game in Game 3. LeBron said he wanted to guard him tonight. How big was DeMar's 3 points again tonight with LeBron guarding him?
Well, I don't know if LeBron guarded him the whole night. I think a lot of possessions he did, but I think they got switched off in transition. We had some cross matches where DeMar had different people guarding him in those situations. And luckily, DeMar had it going in that stretch because they were scoring on us and we were scoring on them. It's kind of tit for tat. So, again, they had some cross matches that they got caught with, and DeMar had an opportunity to score, and he was big for us. He and Kyle both have they stepped up tonight.
Go ahead, Chris.
Dwane, up here in the front row.
Chris.
How important was Bismack tonight? I know he didn't have the monster night that he did the previous, but
He was huge because, one, he's creating situations where they're committing 2 or 3 people, at least 2, to box him out. And he created some alleys for us to go for. I know Pat there at the end got a big offensive rebound because they're so worried about Biz, which they should be. And because he's such a great offensive rebounder, he creates some offensive rebounding alleys for other people. And that's why we have to gang rebound and not depend on him to get all the rebounds. And that's what Biz creates. He's one of our best screeners. He didn't make his free throws. It was 1 for 4 in his free throws, but he's been making his free throws, and he works on them incessantly. And again, he's huge for us. Just his spirit, his toughness, but also too, it's going to be good to get JV back now when they double team and blitz us. JV's a good ball handler, great passer there in the middle of the floor. So we'll invite the double teams there in the middle of the floor with Jonas coming back.
Go ahead, please.
Caitlin McGrath, Yahoo Sports. Just wondering, what has the crowd and being back on home court meant for this team, and when was the last time you heard it this loud here?
Well, again, it's been great. They just push us through, so many situations just to get that adrenaline going. And it has to be. I know how loud Cleveland is and how loud other arenas are, and ours is a couple of decibels higher. I always thought Portland was one of the loudest places in the league, and your old Utah when they had the old motorcycle in there, and Steve remembers that and Doug remembers that. But ours is just as loud without the motorcycle and the noise pumped in.
Ian?
Dwane, Ian Harrison, Associated Press. Now, as you have to leave the comforts of home behind, go to Cleveland where regular season and the first 2 games of this series, you've had 3 double-digit losses. What has to change? What has to be different for this success to continue in the next game?
Well, we got to meet the same intensity level, the same focus that we've had. We can't have as many droughts. We got to play through some of the droughts that we had, and even though there were double-digit losses, I thought there were portions of the game where the game changed, and we let it slip away, small, like 3 or 4 minute segments, and we got to cut those down and make sure we keep our poise in those segments of the game and not let them get away. We got to match their scoring in those segments, and not let them, go on those big runs. But again, timeout, but we still got to score, and that's where we struggle in those segments of the game. And that's going to be our goal, to go in with that and going with the confidence that, hey, we've won 2 games, and with that behind us.
Scott, go ahead.
Dwane, was it just a matter of execution on home court that made the difference, or did you figure something out after games 1 and 2?
Well, we figured out a little bit, Scott. I think just understanding where we could get shots, how we could get stops. I thought we protected the paint better. We figured out ways to try to protect the paint. This team's a great scoring team. And so I think, you got to have a balance of what you want to take away, and you got to pick your poison. We had a better balance, Scott, more than just taking one thing away or 2 things away. I think we got a balance of what we were going to work with. And I thought that was huge on the defensive end. Offensively, we had a good balance between attacking the paint and also we're making shots. It's a make or miss league, and I think our home rims are good to us. Now we got to find those on the road.
2 questions left. Steve? Mike, go ahead, sorry.
Dwane, just 2 things real quick. Why is Kyle able to thrive when his back is against the wall after scoring 18 in the first 2 games? And then with Biz, how comfortable were you with him guarding the perimeter? He did it late and did it very successfully.
Well, Irvin tattooed him once there at the end. He didn't get close enough. But Biz is one of our best athletes. He's always teasing about chasing lions and everything in the Congo. I got to go over there this summer and see that. But he's got great feet, and his length, he's longer than you think, and so that allows him to guard perimeter guys pretty well. That's why we don't mind switching with him. And Kyle, he's a little pit bull. I mean, his back, you question him, that's when he rises to the occasion. And I've seen it so many times, and throughout the playoffs, everybody second-guessed him, and he's always bounced back. And that's what makes him, he's done that his whole life, through college, through high school, through, first few years of the NBA. And that's what has made him the all-star he is.